chosen one. Yes, you. The one who already knows which meeting I mean before I've said a word about it. Before we start, give me 60 seconds of your body. Sit down if you're not already sitting. If there is a door within reach, close it. The next hour is not for the hallway. Turn your phone face down, screen flat against the table so nothing can pull at your sleeve while we talk. Now, find your jaw. It has been clenched since sometime this afternoon, maybe longer, and you never noticed. Let it come open and breathe out. Not the shallow one you're doing right now, the full one, the one that empties the very bottom of your lungs. And then let the next breath arrive on its own without you deciding when. Good. That is the chosen one I am speaking to. Now listen, because something turned this week, and you can feel it even if no one has said it to your face yet. They gave your promotion away. The thing you had earned, the thing that carried your name in every way that mattered except the one way that counted. They handed it to somebody else, and they let you stand there and watch it happen. And now, this is the part the air already knows. Now they are quietly beginning to beg you back. Who they gave it to, and what has happened to it since, I'm going to hold for a little while. Not to tease you, because you need the ground under it first. If I say the name now, you'll spend the whole hour arguing with a face instead of hearing the thing underneath the face. So we build the floor, and then we open that door together. And by then you'll be standing steady enough to see it clearly. For now, only this. You did not lose that promotion. You were kept out of it. There is a difference between those two sentences the size of your entire life. And by the end of tonight, you are going to feel it in your chest. Because here is what they were sure of when they made that call. They looked at you and they saw someone easy to pass over. Someone who would take it well. Someone reliable enough to stay and quiet enough not to make it awkward. They read your steadiness as a lack of ambition. They read your patience as a lack of options. They looked at the fact that you never once threatened to walk, and they concluded with real confidence that you had nowhere to walk to. They built the whole decision on that reading of you, and this week, the decisions started coming apart in their hands. And they are only now beginning to understand why. If any of this is already landing in the place it's meant to land, do one small thing for me before we go deeper. Tap the like and subscribe. Not for me, I promise you this message doesn't need the number. It travels further when it moves. And somewhere out there tonight is a person sitting exactly where you were an hour ago. Staring at a ceiling, replaying a meeting, certain they were the one who came up short. When you pass this forward, it reaches them. That is the whole mission. That is the only reason I ask. Now, let me take you back into that room, chosen one, because we have to start where they started. Go back into that room with me, the one where they told you. You have replayed it enough times that it doesn't even feel like a memory anymore. It feels like a photograph you keep taking out of a drawer. The table, the particular light, the way they had already arranged their faces before you sat down so that you knew in the first half second, before a single word, that the word was going to be no. You have good instincts, chosen one. You read that room correctly. You just misread what the room meant. They dressed it up the way rooms like that always dress it up. They used the soft words, not yet, so close. This wasn't the right moment. We need you exactly where you are. They said you were essential, and I want you to hold on to that word, essential, because they said it as a comfort, and it was actually a confession, and we are going to come back to it. They told you your time would come, and then they gave your future to somebody else and asked you to help train them into it. Here is what happened inside you in that room, and I want to name it precisely, because you have never let yourself name it precisely. It was not anger first. Anger came later, in the car, on the drive. In the room, it was something quieter and worse. It was the floor tilting. It was the specific vertigo of doing everything right and watching the reward walk past you to a person who did less. You sat there and you kept your face still, and you did keep it still, chosen one. I know you did. And it cost you something to do it. And underneath the still face, a whole story about your own worth quietly rewrote itself in the wrong direction. You walked out of that room believing you had been measured and found short. That is the lie you carried out with you. That is the lie you have been feeding ever since. Imagine this: a man standing at the base of a dam, looking up at a wall of concrete, and there is a single crack running down the face of it, thin as a hair. He decides the wall is failing. He decides it is weak, that it was poorly built, that it is only a matter of time. And so he turns his back on it and walks away, ashamed to be associated with something so flawed. What he does not know, because he cannot see it from where he stands, is that the crack is not damage. The crack is an expansion joint. It was engineered in. It is the exact feature that lets the wall hold back an ocean without shattering. The thing he read as a flaw was the thing keeping everything upright. He walked away from strength, calling it weakness, because he was reading the surface with no knowledge of the design. You did that, chosen one. In that room, you looked at the one crack, the no, and you decided the whole structure of your worth was failing. You could not see the design, not yet. Because notice what they actually did. They did not remove you. They kept you exactly in place and gave the title to someone else. Think about how strange that is if you're honest. If you were truly not enough, you let go, you move on. But you don't keep the person you've decided is second rate sitting at the center of everything, holding it together while you hand the crown to someone new. You only do that when the person you passed over is the one thing you cannot afford to lose. They didn't underestimate your worth, they depended on it. Those are not the same, and the difference is the whole story. Here is the line they could not say out loud in that room, the one that would have made the meeting honest. We are giving the title to someone we can replace, and keeping you because we can't. No, chosen one, you did not come up short. You did not fail some final test you weren't told about. You sat in a room where the most important person present was quietly designated as furniture, and you mistook the seating chart for a verdict. The no was not a measurement of you. It was a measurement of how much they needed you to stay. Now about the silence. Because what you did next is the part they read most wrongly of all. You did not make a scene. You did not slam anything. You did not walk into an office and lay down an ultimatum. You went back to your desk, and the next morning you came in early, the way you always come in early. And you did the work. You held the thing together, and you did it while carrying the fresh, private ache of having just been passed over for doing exactly that. They watched you do that. And do you know what they told themselves as they watched? They told themselves they had read you right. "Look," they said without saying it, "she took it fine. He's a professional. No drama, no threats." See, this is exactly why we could afford to skip them. They stay. That is their nature. Your grace under it became, in their mouths, the proof that skipping you was safe. I need you to feel how backwards that was. They took the single most impressive thing you have ever done, swallowing a genuine wound and continuing to hold up the entire operation without letting it drop for even one day, and they filed it as evidence that you don't mind being overlooked. They looked at a display of extraordinary strength and character, and they logged it as a lack of spine. That is what people do with a quiet person, chosen one. They assume the quiet is empty. They cannot conceive that the quiet is full of things being managed, absorbed, carried, held level so that they never have to feel the weight. And then they did the thing that should have told you everything if you hadn't been too wounded to read it. They asked you to train the person who got your seat. Sit with the shape of that for a second, because it is one of the strangest, most revealing things one human being can ask of another. We have decided this person belongs above you. Now please teach them how to do the job you understand and they do not. On the surface, it is an insult folded inside an injury, a second, smaller humiliation tucked neatly inside the first. And you felt it as exactly that. And you were not wrong to feel the sting of it. But turn it over. Look at what the request quietly admits. They did not ask the confident one to figure it out alone, because somewhere underneath all the flattery, they already suspected the confident one could not. They came to you. They put the real knowledge, the working knowledge, the knowledge the whole thing actually runs on, into your hands, and asked you to pour it into someone else, which means they knew precisely where that knowledge lived. It lived in you. They just hoped they could extract it, decant it into a vessel they found easier to look at, and keep the vessel while thanking the source and sending it back to its desk. It does not work like that, chosen one. You cannot pour 20 years of judgment into a person over a few weeks of shadowing. You can hand over the steps. You cannot hand over the thing underneath the steps, the instinct for which fire is real and which is only smoke. The sense of when to hold the thread and when to let it fall. The 1,000 tiny corrections you make all day without even knowing you are making them. That is not knowledge that transfers in a training session. That is who you have become. And who you have become does not fit in the vessel they chose, no matter how carefully you tried to pour it in. So they got the steps and they missed the substance, and they sent the substance back to its desk and called it a promotion for somebody else. And here is a word for what you are, one I want you to keep, because it's going to sit at the center of everything from here forward. You are the load-bearing wall. Say it to yourself. The load-bearing wall. Not a decoration on the building, not a nameplate on a door. The wall inside the wall, the one nobody points at on the tour, the one with nothing hanging on it that happens to be holding up every floor above it. You can paint a load-bearing wall any color you like and nobody notices. You can pass it over for every award the building gives out, but take it away and you will find out very fast what it was doing. The whole point of a load-bearing wall is that its work is invisible right up until the moment it's gone. Then it is the only thing anyone can talk about. They did not know they were describing a load-bearing wall when they said you were essential in that meeting. They thought they were flattering you. They were, without meaning to, telling you the truth. Imagine this: a house with a beautiful open kitchen, and right in the middle of it, an ugly post running floor to ceiling. The new owners hate the post. It's in the way. It ruins the sightline. Every guest comments on it. So they call someone in and they say, "Take it out. We want the space to breathe." And a good builder looks at that post and looks up at the ceiling and says the thing nobody in the room wants to hear. That's not in the way. That's what's holding the second floor off your heads. You can remove it, but you're going to have to replace what it does. And you have no idea yet how much it does, because it has never once failed you. And things that never fail become invisible. That is you, chosen one. You are the post in the middle of their open kitchen. They found you inconvenient. They found you easy to look past. And they were about to learn, the hard way, in slow motion, exactly what you had been holding off their heads. Here is the line they could not say out loud. We told ourselves they didn't mind being passed over, because if they did mind and they left, we were finished, and we could not afford to know that. So, no, you did not stay out of weakness. You did not stay because you had no options and no spine the way they decided. You stayed because you are the kind of person who does not let the ship go down over your own bruise, and they mistook the size of your character for the smallness of your ambition. The silence was never surrender, chosen one. It was you holding the roof up while they congratulated themselves on how light the roof felt. Now, before we open the next door, this is where the room thins out, and it's supposed to. Some of you clicked on this out of pure curiosity. You saw the words, you felt a small tug. You're half watching while you do 3 other things. There is no shame in that, and right about now, the curious ones drift off toward the next thing, the next voice. Let them go. This was never built to hold everyone. But some of you have gone very still in the last few minutes. Something in your chest tightened when I said load-bearing wall, because you recognized yourself in it, and you have never had a name for it before tonight. If that is you, do this one thing. Go down to the comments and leave the number 999. Just that. Not for luck, not because it's trending. Leave it as a signal, plain and clear, that you are locked in, and you intend to hear this all the way through to the end. Think of it as a hand quietly raised in a full room. I will see it, and the others sitting with this tonight will see it, and they'll know they are not the only one who was passed over and told to smile about it. And while you're down there, the like and the subscribe are what carry this to the next person who needs it. Now, here is the name you did not expect. Here is the door I told you we'd open together. They gave your promotion to the confident one. You know exactly who I mean, even if the details of your life are different from the details of the story. The one who interviews beautifully. The one who is comfortable in every room, who talks easily, who makes leadership feel good about their own judgment just by being in the vicinity. The one who has never once, in their life, done the actual work you have been quietly doing for years, but who describes the work so fluently that describing it and doing it start to look like the same skill to people who don't know the difference. That is who they chose. Not because that person was better, because that person was legible, easy to read, easy to be impressed by. They chose the one whose competence was loud over the one whose competence was silent, which is to say, they chose the packaging over the thing inside the packaging, and they did it feeling wise. And here is what has happened since. Here is the part I held back. It has started to come apart. Not all at once. It never comes apart all at once. That would be too kind, too clean, too easy for everyone to explain away. It comes apart the way these things always come apart, slowly, then in a way nobody can quite point at, then undeniably. The confident one took the title, took the office, took the desk, and within weeks, the things you used to catch before they became problems stopped getting caught. The small fires you used to put out before anyone smelled smoke started to burn. The threads you used to hold invisibly in both hands all day, every day, started to slip one at a time, because the person now holding them does not even know the threads exist. You want to know the cruelest, most beautiful detail? Nobody can figure out what changed. That's the thing. The org chart says everything is the same or better. A stronger name in the seat, a more impressive presence in the meetings. On paper, it should be running smoother than ever, and instead, it's grinding. And they stand around asking each other what happened, and none of them can say it, because the answer is a thing they decided months ago to look past. You happened. Your absence from that chair happened. They removed the load-bearing wall and kept the pretty room, and the ceiling has started to sag in a way that nobody wants to be the first to name. Imagine this, an orchestra, and there is a woman in the back playing an inner part, not the melody. Nobody hums it. No critic ever writes about it. She plays the line that sits underneath everything, the connective tissue, the part that makes the whole sound feel whole. One night, she is moved aside for someone flashier, someone who plays the solos gorgeously and photographs well for the program. And the concert goes on. And something is wrong. The audience can't tell you what. The melody is still there, played beautifully, more beautifully than ever. But the music sounds thin now, hollow in the middle, like a room with the furniture taken out. Everyone feels it. Nobody can locate it, because you cannot point to the absence of a sound you never consciously heard in the first place. You only feel the cold where the warmth used to be. That is their department right now, chosen one. That is the sound of a room that took out its inner voice and kept the soloist, and cannot understand why the music went cold in the middle. And watch the thing the org chart will never show you, the quiet traffic running underneath it. Because here is what people do when the official answer stops working. They route around it. Nobody announces it. Nobody files anything. They simply, quietly, begin bringing the hard thing to the person who can actually solve it. The way water finds the low ground without being told where it is. A question that is supposed to go to the new seat gets whispered to your desk instead. A problem that is officially theirs somehow lands in your hands, off the record, because everyone who has been there a while knows, without ever saying it, who the building actually runs on. That informal traffic is the truest org chart there is, chosen one. Titles lie, nameplates lie, but the path a real problem takes when it needs to be solved fast, that never lies. And right now, if you watch closely, you will see that path still bends toward you. They gave the title away. They could not give the trust away. Trust does not transfer with a memo. It is earned in the small rooms, one solved problem at a time, over years, and it stays exactly where it was earned, no matter whose name ends up on the door. So the whole place is running with a split down the middle of it now. On the surface, the confident one is in charge. Underneath, in the current that actually carries the work, everyone is still quietly steering toward you. And that split cannot hold forever. A structure where the authority and the trust have come apart is a structure already failing. It simply has not finished yet. The title is drawing a salary in one chair. The real weight is still being carried in another. And sooner or later, someone with the power to move the nameplate is going to notice that the water keeps running uphill to the wrong desk and ask why. And notice, this is important, notice that the collapse is not your doing. You didn't sabotage anything. You would never. You are not the kind of person who lets the ship sink to prove a point. We established that already. It's why you stayed. You did nothing but stop being able to be in two places. Stop being able to hold what wasn't yours to hold anymore. The collapse is simply the shape of your real value becoming visible by its absence. It is the post being removed and the ceiling explaining in its own slow language what the post was for. Here is the line they cannot say out loud, the one that is starting to form in the back of every one of their minds. We didn't promote a person. We demolished a wall and called it a promotion. No, chosen one. The thing falling apart over there is not your fault, and it is not your triumph to gloat over either. It is simply the truth, finally arriving on its own schedule, wearing no disguise. They chose the face, and the face cannot do what the wall did. And now everyone gets to find out, in public, at their pace, exactly what you were. Watch their certainty now, because this is where it really turns. For a while, leadership could tell themselves a story. The dip was temporary. Transitions are hard. The new person is finding their footing. Give it a quarter. Give it two. They said these things to each other with confidence, because admitting anything else would mean admitting the decision itself was wrong. And people will defend a bad decision far past the point of reason rather than face the moment they got something that important flatly, expensively wrong. But certainty is a strange material. It holds enormous weight, right up until it doesn't, and then it doesn't gradually. It goes all at once, like ice. And what breaks certainty is not one big catastrophe. It's accumulation. It's the third missed thing, and the fifth, and the client who quietly went elsewhere, and the deadline that slid, and the meeting where someone finally asked the question out loud that everyone had been carrying privately. Was it better before? And here is the vertigo that is now settling over the very people who sat across that table from you and arranged their faces into no. They are beginning to understand that they did not make a neutral choice between two candidates. They made a trade. They gave up the thing that worked in exchange for the thing that looked good. And the bill for that trade is coming due in a currency they did not expect to pay in. Their own reputation, their own judgment, the confidence of the people above them who are now starting to ask questions. Because that is what happens next, chosen one, and I want you to see it clearly. The people who passed you over now have someone standing over them, their own bosses. And those people are looking at a declining department and asking the simple, brutal question that flows downhill in every organization on earth. What happened here? And there is no good answer. Because the honest answer is, we had the right person, and we passed them over for someone more comfortable to look at. And then we were too proud to correct it. You cannot say that in a performance review. You cannot say that to the person who controls your future. So they are trapped, holding a decision they can neither defend nor undo, watching it cost them a little more every single week. Imagine this. A man builds a boat, and he is very proud of it, and he takes it out, and it begins, gently, to take on water. Not fast, a slow seep. And because he is proud, and because everyone on the dock watched him build it, he cannot bring himself to turn around. So he keeps sailing, and he bails quietly with a small cup, hoping no one on shore can tell. And the seep continues, and the water rises past his ankles, and still he smiles toward the shore and keeps bailing, because the shame of turning back has become, in his mind, larger than the danger of going down. He would rather sink slowly with dignity than be seen to have been wrong quickly. That is exactly where they are, bailing with a cup, smiling toward the shore, and the water is at their ankles and climbing, and the whole time there is one person standing on the dock who actually knows how to seal a hole. You. Here is the line they cannot say out loud, not to their bosses, not to each other, barely even to themselves. We were right about how good they were. That is why this is happening. Our own decision proved them right. No, chosen one, you did not misjudge the room back at the beginning. You read it perfectly. You just gave them credit for a wisdom they did not have. You assumed that if they passed you over, they must have seen something, known something, understood something you didn't. That is a generous person's mistake. You extended them the benefit of a competence they were only performing. And now their own results are stripping that performance away in front of everyone, and their certainty is going the way of all certainty that was never built on the truth. It is not going to sag much longer. It is going to break. And when it breaks, chosen one, that is when the phone rings. Then the call comes. And this is the part I most want you to hear correctly, because everything about how the rest of your life goes depends on how you understand this exact moment. They will not call it begging. Understand that first. People in their position never say the true words. They will not say we were wrong. They will not say we need you because we broke the thing that was working and we cannot fix it without you. What they will say is dressed up and warm and slightly too casual, like a hand that reaches for you while pretending it just happened to be nearby. They'll say they've been thinking about you. They'll say there might be an opportunity worth discussing. They'll say the timing finally feels right. The same timing that was so wrong for you a few months ago is suddenly, miraculously, right. They will make it sound like a favor they're offering you, when the entire architecture of the conversation is a favor they are, underneath, desperately asking for. And here is why they have to dress it up. Because they have no cover anymore. That is the whole thing. For months they hid behind the decision, behind the title in the impressive seat, behind the confidence of the person they chose, behind the story that everything was fine. Every one of those hiding places is gone now. The impressive seat is producing unimpressive results. The confident one has run out of ways to be confident about a situation that keeps getting worse. The story that everything is fine died the moment their own bosses started asking questions. They are standing in the open now, with nothing in front of them, and the only thing left in the whole landscape that can save them is the person they passed over. They have nowhere left to hide, chosen one, and a person with nowhere to hide will reach for the one thing they threw away, and they will reach for it with a smile, and they will call the reaching an opportunity. Feel the reversal in that, all the way down. In that first meeting, you were the one waiting to be chosen. You were the one whose worth was on trial, whose future sat in someone else's hands, who had to keep a still face while they decided. And now, without your having done a single loud thing, without one email of complaint, without one threat, the entire arrangement has turned over. Now they are the ones waiting. Now their future sits in your hands. Now they are the ones who have to keep a still face and pretend this is casual, while everything they have rides on your answer. You did not do that. Read that carefully, because it matters more than anything. You did not engineer that reversal. You didn't scheme it. You didn't sabotage them into it. You simply were what you were, consistently, and let the truth arrive on its own. The reversal was not your revenge. It was the natural physics of removing a load-bearing wall and waiting. Gravity did the rest. Gravity always does. Imagine this: two people in a desert, and one of them is holding the only canteen, and they are quite proud of it, and quite sure it makes them the important one. So they walk a little ahead. They don't share freely. They let the other person feel the thirst, feel the dependence, feel small. And the one without the canteen just keeps walking, steady, not complaining, because complaining costs water, and they've learned to conserve. And then, a mile on, the one with the canteen discovers it has been empty for some time, that what they thought was their power had quietly run dry while they were busy holding it over someone's head. And they turn around, and the person they made feel small is standing there, calm, having found, somewhere back along the road, a spring the proud one walked right past without seeing. Now who needs whom? The whole arrangement of that desert just reversed, and not one cruel thing was done to make it happen. The water simply told the truth about who had been carrying it all along. And here is the part about time that most people get exactly backwards, so hold still for it. When that call comes, everything in you that still remembers the old wound is going to want to answer it fast, to resolve the discomfort, to end the strange, charged silence of being wanted again after being discarded. You will want to say yes quickly, or even no quickly, just to stop standing in the open doorway of it. Do not. That discomfort in the pause is not yours anymore. It is theirs. Every day that seat stays effectively empty. Every week the sliding continues. The cost lands on them, not on you. Time stopped being your enemy the moment the building started to lean. Time is now the thing quietly negotiating on your behalf, and it never sleeps, and it never gets nervous, and it does not accept a bad first offer. Think about what the waiting is doing to their side of the table. Every day you have not said yes, their problem gets more expensive and more visible. Every day someone above them asks a slightly harder version of the same question. Every day the gap between what they have and what they need grows a little wider, and the only bridge across that gap is you. You do not have to say one loud word to apply that pressure. You only have to not rush. The silence they once read as your weakness has become the most powerful thing you can offer them, because now your silence is simply the sound of them not being saved yet. So, when the call comes, be warm and be slow. Thank them for thinking of you and mean it, because a settled person can afford to be gracious. And then let there be a pause. The exact kind of pause you used to rush to fill out of fear, the kind you now let hang in the air like weather. Let them fill it. Let them explain a little too much. Let them sweeten the thing before you have even asked. The person who is willing to wait is the person who sets the price, and you, chosen one, have spent years becoming a person who knows how to wait. Here is the line they cannot say out loud when they make that call. Please come back and save us from the consequences of not valuing you. And please let us keep pretending we're doing you the favor. No, chosen one, when that phone rings, you are not being rescued from your smallness. You are being confessed to. The call itself is the admission they will never make in words. You don't need them to say, "We were wrong." The call is them saying it. A person does not come back for the thing they successfully replaced. They only come back for the thing they cannot live without and pretended they could. So do not answer it the way the old you would have. Grateful, relieved, so quick to forgive that you forget you were the wronged one. Answer it as the wall. Answer it as the thing that was holding up the building the whole time and has finally been noticed. So walk back in, if you choose to walk back in at all, and walk back in as a different person than the one who walked out. This is the turn the whole hour has been building toward, chosen one, so slow down with me here. There are two ways to go back through a door you were once turned away from, and only one of them is worth anything. The first way is the way of the grateful returner. You go back thankful they thought of you. You go back so relieved to be wanted that you take the same seat, the same terms, a slightly better title maybe, and you spend the next several years quietly re-earning a place you already owned, treating a confession as if it were a gift. That is the way most people go back, and it wastes the entire lesson. It hands your worth right back to the people who just proved they don't know how to value it, and asks them to please try again. You are not going to do that, because you finally understand the thing you did not understand in that first room. You are not the applicant in this story. You never were. The applicant was them this whole time, applying for the privilege of your labor, and you just couldn't see it because you were standing too close to your own bruise. So you go back the second way, or you do not go back at all, and both of those are victories, hear me, because a person who is genuinely willing to walk away is the only person who ever gets good terms. You go back on terms that match what you actually are, not what they offered the confident one. more. Because you are not replacing the confident one. The confident one was replacing you and failed. You go back priced as the thing that was proven irreplaceable, not the thing that was conveniently overlooked. You go back and you let there be a pause after your requirements, the pause you used to rush to fill out of nervousness, and you let that pause belong to you. Let them be the one who fills it. And here is where the deepest thing in this whole story finally comes clear. The thing I promised you at the start about being kept out rather than passed over. That promotion, the one you wept over not getting, it was a trap dressed as a prize. Look at what it became. Look at the person it swallowed. The confident one is not enjoying that title right now. That title is eating them alive in front of everyone. It is a role that was breaking, a department that was sliding, a set of problems that were about to surface no matter who sat in the chair. And if you had taken it when you wanted it, at that moment, on their terms, it would have been you underneath the collapse. You would have inherited the falling building with your name on the deed. You would have been the one their bosses were asking hard questions about. You would have spent yourself trying to hold up a structure they refused to properly fund or support, and you would have been blamed for the cracks that were already there before you arrived. The no protected you from that. Sit with it. The thing that humiliated you was the thing that kept you out of a fire. You were spared the title so that you could inherit the truth instead. So that when you finally take a seat, it is on ground that has already been proven, with leverage that is already yours, with the whole room already having learned, at their own expense, exactly what happens without you. You were not denied the mountain, chosen one. You were kept off it until the avalanche had already come down, so that you could walk up clean afterward and stand on solid rock while everyone else was still digging out. Imagine this, a traveler desperate to board a ship, pounding on the gate at the dock, furious, humiliated, turned away at the last moment for reasons that felt like an insult. No room, not you, not now. Watching that beautiful ship pull out of the harbor without them while they stand there burning with shame on the empty dock. And they go home defeated, certain they missed the great voyage of their life. And weeks later, the news comes in about that ship and what happened to it out past the horizon in the deep water where there was no turning back. And the traveler stands very still in their own kitchen, holding the news, and understands for the first time that the hand that shut that gate in their face was not rejecting them. It was holding them back from the water. What felt like being shut out was being kept alive. You were kept off the ship, chosen one, and now they are standing on the dock of their sinking thing, calling your name across the water. And you are the one standing safe on solid ground, deciding on your own terms, in your own time, whether and how you will help, and what it will cost them if you do. Here is the line they cannot say out loud, the last one, the truest one. We passed them over to protect our comfort, and in doing so, we accidentally protected them, and now they are the only ones still standing. No, chosen one, you did not miss the promotion. You outlived it. You did not lose the seat. You were kept clear of the seat until it stopped being a punishment and became a throne. And the same thing that kept you clear, call it timing, call it providence, call it the quiet arrangement of a life by hands you'll never fully see. That thing is not finished with you. It did not save you from one fire only to abandon you at the edge of the next. Whatever kept you off that ship is still ahead of you on the road, still turning the switches, still deciding which doors open easily and which ones stay shut for your own good. So here is where we leave it, and it does not leave the way you expect. They are going to call. Maybe they already have. And when they do, you are not going to feel the sweet, hot rush of revenge. And I don't want you to go looking for it, because it isn't there, and it was never the point. What you are going to feel is quieter and much bigger than revenge. You are going to feel still. You are going to feel like a person standing on ground that has finally stopped moving, watching people you once feared scramble on a surface that has started to give way beneath them. That stillness is not coldness. It is what vindication actually feels like when it arrives. Not a fire, a floor. Not heat, weight. The simple, settled weight of a truth that no longer needs anyone else to confirm it. Let them keep the title if they want it. It was never the title. You know that now. The title was a nameplate they screwed onto the wrong wall, and nameplates fall off, and walls hold buildings up. You were never the thing hanging on the wall, chosen one. You were the wall. And a building learns what its walls were for only after it starts to lean. So when you walk back through that door, if you choose to, on terms that finally weigh what you weigh, walk in slow. Do not hurry to reassure them. Do not apologize for the pause. Do not shrink to fit the chair they left empty for you. That chair that has been going cold since the day the wrong person stopped being able to fill it. Sit down in it the way a person sits down in something.